Welcome to Unit 8, Section 3, Lesson 3, Video 2, Rotations. In this video, we're going to look at 3 examples of an object being rotated on a coordinate grid. Example 1. Rotate triangle ABC 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. To draw this rotation, we're going to use tracing paper. If you don't have tracing paper, you can use wax paper or parchment paper or even regular paper. Get a small piece of your tracing paper and put it over the object like this. Trace out the triangle like so. Trace out your X and Y axis. And I always find it useful to label at least one of the vertices on the object so that we can keep track of where it is once we've rotated it. We're going to rotate the object about the origin 90 degrees in a counterclockwise direction like this. Put your pencil on top of your tracing paper on the origin. We're going to use this as a pivot point and rotate your paper 90 degrees counterclockwise. It should look like this. Make sure you rotate it until the axes line up again like so. In this case, what was the x-axis has now lined up with the y-axis, and vice versa. We can now trace out the new vertices, and our image would look like this. What are the coordinates of the object and the image? The original object had vertices A, -6 and 3, B, -3, 1, and C, -8, -1. The image has vertices A prime, -3, -6, B prime, -1, -3, and C prime, 1, -8. Because we're rotating about the origin, the coordinates in the image will always have the same 2 numbers as were in the original, but they may be in a different order or be positive or negative. But that's always a good check to see if you've done this correctly. For example, if A prime ended up being -2, -5, you would know that you drew it incorrectly because there is no 2 or 5 in the original. Example 2. Rotate triangle ABC 180 degrees about the origin. We can use the exact same tracing paper as in example 1 because the diagram is the same. This time we're going to rotate 180 degrees. Notice because it's 180 degrees, we don't need to specify whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise because it will end up in the same place regardless. If you take your tracing paper, put your pencil at the origin and rotate 180 degrees until the axes line up, the image would be located here. Now we can draw in the new vertices of the image, and the image would look like this. ABCD has the following coordinates. Draw ABCD and rotate it 270 degrees clockwise. If you want to try to draw the object on your own, pause the video now. The object would look like this. In order to rotate this object, we're going to use tracing paper. We're going to rotate it 270 degrees clockwise, so in this direction. We put our pencil at the origin and rotate the paper a 3/4 turn or 270 degrees, and the image should end up right here. Trace out the vertices of the new image and draw in your lines using a ruler, and your new image should look like this. Next, reflect the image A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime in the y-axis. Remember, in order to reflect an object, we need to draw the vertices of the image the same distance away from the axis as was in the original. So for example, C prime is 2 units to the right, so C double prime would be 2 units to the left, and so on. The new image would look like this. What are the coordinates of A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime? A double prime has coordinates 1, -5. B double prime has coordinates 3, -3. C double prime has coordinates -2, -1. And D double prime has coordinates -2, -5. Please proceed to the activities for Lesson 3.